Hey guys, Neoma here. Now for today's video, I want to talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The rumor today is that Inter Milan are said to be looking at Aubameyang as a potential replacement for a clinical forward and to be a potential replacement for Mauro Icardi, who they are offering potentially for a loan deal for Arsenal because of funds. Also, a player still in the running for Arsenal to go on loan, Luka Jovic. He's still in the running. He's said to be talking to Mitrovic on how life is in England. In this video, I'm going to be talking about both of these players and who would stack up to be the better option. But before then, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, which should be somewhere down here. Please continue to comment, like. Now, let's get started. So, let's talk first of all Inter Milan. I have to admit I'm a bit surprised by this. Now, and the reason why I say this is because Inter Milan signed Lukaku at the beginning of last season. He's a player that they put incredible amount of money in. I know they also have Sanchez as well, who I believe is on loan instead of an actual purchase. But I never really thought they'd be looking at another striker. But you can understand why they are. Aubameyang is a top striker. I mean, when you look at Aubameyang's numbers and what Aubameyang is producing, Aubameyang, bare minimum, and I don't even need to research this because it's already been done. I've been so impressed by him. For the past 6 seasons, Aubameyang on a bare minimum has managed to score 25 or more goals. Bare minimum. He has not scored less than 25 goals since he was at Saint Etienne. That's how good Aubameyang is. So it's no wonder that Inter Milan are looking at him. We know the current contract situation. We know he only has a year left. We're going to have to do something about it in some way, shape or form. And it doesn't even matter whether we sell Lacazette or not. The Aubameyang situation needs to be resolved, whether he stays or whether we end up having to sell him because of the contract. But let's look at the alternatives. So Inter Milan have said to be proposing Mauro Icardi as being the guy in order to help Arsenal or to convince Arsenal in some way, shape or form that they should sell Aubameyang to them. So I thought, let's take a look at Mauro Icardi's numbers because as you all know, I am a stats guy and I do believe that numbers do speak louder than just opinions. So let's check his numbers out. So, as you can see there from the graph, in the 2018-2019 season, he played 37 games, scored 17 goals, and 5 assists. Those numbers are good. Really, really good. And these are the numbers that he scored in Serie A, which traditionally there's a lot of teams with good defenses. And he's still scoring a considerable amount of goals. Yes, I know what you're thinking, but he's no Aubameyang. And to be honest, who out there is it that Arsenal could get that could really come or be on the same level as Aubameyang? I don't believe there's anybody at the club. As much as I like Martinelli and Nketiah and John Jules and Florian Balogun, these are players that are either a mixture of untested and complete inexperience, and they're just not ready yet. But the numbers that Icardi put up, not so bad, particularly for last year's 2018-2019 season. Now, for the 2019-2020 season, numbers look like this. 31 games played, 20 goals, 4 assists. Again, good numbers, like really good numbers. Are they on that Aubameyang level? No. But still very good numbers. I mean, Aubameyang has showed that he's a world-class striker. And just looking at these numbers for Mauro Icardi, I would say Icardi is in that grade, maybe just below. But I will say this, with the right coaching, could we then help to elevate him up to that next level? Or at the very least, even if he was to come to Arsenal and do exactly the same with what we want, Could we then use maybe other players to supplement the missing goals that Aubameyang's able to bring? The likes of Saka, maybe the likes of Nketiah or Martinelli and Pepe to really go that step up? Because that's probably more than what's likely. But I would say, judging from the information that you guys can see here and from all the stuff that I've seen, Icardi on loan is actually not bad. And when you look at Arsenal's current financial situation, it makes sense. It really does. You bring him in for a year, maybe 2 years. Maybe something happens where we bring him in for a year and he really likes Arsenal and he's like, yeah, I want to stay. And then we have an experienced striker who the younger strikers could learn from. And then we would solve a lot of problems that we have. And even if Lacazette does go as well, we would still have an experienced striker there. So I think it's worth a gamble and it's worth a risk. But let's see what happens. Now it's time for Luka Jovic. Now we all know who Luka Jovic is, Real Madrid player. Obviously, know this past season he has not done great. Let's take a look at the stats. So Luka Jovic, even at Real Madrid this season, he's played 24 games. And for me, that's quite a lot of games. But when you look at the numbers that he's putting out, 2 goals, 2 assists in 24 games. That's unacceptable. For me, like, I get it, he might have had trouble adapting, but you cannot go 24 games. To be honest, that's 2/3 of a season. He's played so many games and he's only managed 2 goals and 2 assists. As much as I think that he's a good player, I don't think that that's acceptable enough. Now, I know a lot of you Luka Jovic fans are probably saying, listen, let's look at what he did the year before. He was absolutely firing. And, I mean, let's look at the stats for that. So, in his previous season, in the 2018-2019 season, he played in 48 matches, scored 27 goals and 7 assists. Those numbers are a lot better. A lot better. Those are the numbers that are comparable to what Aubameyang is doing right now. And when you look at the numbers, and if that is his ceiling, then again, that might not be a bad shout. But he's still a young player and he probably still continues to needs that development. But right now, if I had to choose between the two, between Luka Jovic and Mauro Icardi, with the numbers that Luka Jovic is putting out, even in this 2018-2019 season, I'm probably going to have to go for Mauro Icardi, just to do with the sheer fact of the level of consistency. Even with moving with different leagues, Mauro Icardi, just from those numbers alone, if you're just looking at it as it is, Mauro Icardi is able to adapt to new surroundings. First he was in Syria, then he was in Liga, which, okay, you can make an argument with Liga and that, you know, the goals that players score in there are relatively easy, but he's scoring goals. And it's not like he's always playing as being like the main guy, but he's still scoring goals. And he's able to do that consistently. So for me, I feel that Mauro Icardi is probably able to adapt to change better. He could probably come to the Premier League and provide around that 20 goal a season mark. But we just need to find other ways in which we can get those extra 10, maybe 12 goals, depending on how much Mauro Icardi scores. So guys, leave your comments below if you agree with me. Do you think that Mauro Icardi should be that player who we should be going after? Or do you think that Luka Jovic should be going after? Do you disagree? Leave your comments below. If you agree, leave your comments below. Please continue to like. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. But looking forward to seeing you guys soon. And I will see you guys most likely tomorrow. Peace.